Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and now that my two obligatory informative videos are done for the day, it's time to talk about current events in the online fitness community. And for those of you who don't like these type of videos, you saw the title of the video when you clicked on it. You had two other informative videos to watch before this. But on to the latest news and gossip. So, my subscribers have awared me that OmarIsuf actually did a pretty hilarious roasting of Kinobody. So let me put on my +5 out of weaponsmithing, work on skill at my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about this. And for those of you who haven't seen it, I will link it down below. So go check it out. Alright, I thought this was actually really well done roasting. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I haven't been fully happy with Omar lately. I've been vocal about that. I don't like the direction he's gone with stuff of collaborating with a lot of really bullshit-based people. Again, going away from his roots, what really made Omar successful and originally made him a really good channel. You know, I think it's what really kind of set him apart from a lot of the other YouTubers earlier on. Omar just really has had a no bullshit approach. He was all about basic training, strength training, even got Greg Knuckles on, pushed the Bulgarian method, and he built what he called an athletic aesthetic physique, right? Which worked pretty well. Guy got a strong set of numbers on the big lifts, and does just a little bit of extra stuff added on to kind of fill in his weaknesses. And I think it worked very well for him. As far as natties go, Omar's really big, actually. Omar's pretty well at what would be most people's natural limit in terms of size, everything else. And the guy's a legitimately strong dude, right? I mean, you got to give credit for that. And he always kind of had a no BS approach, and his trolling was always very subtle. He's always been very subtle about it. And so I used to kind of be a supporter of Omar. But, you know, lately, again, him putting bullshit on like people who promote rack pulls, again, collaborating with just a lot of different people who may not actually have good information, things like that. His whole thing with the fake natty stuff of actually backing people like Eric Helms who are defending fake nattyism, I think is a problem. I think that's a real problem. I don't think that's a good direction for him. But, that being said, he really roasted Kinobody, and that's an interesting take on things, because you do see kind of the opposites here. In certain ways, Kinobody, Kenobi the wise one, Kinobooty, although he doesn't really train the booty, but you know, whatever. Total opposite approach. Everything has been about glam. It's all been style over substance, and that is what he has marketed. He's come across really what I think Omar did a good job with this whole Pellegringo thing was highlighting the fact that he is really disconnected from everyone else, and I think that's the most interesting part of the whole phenomenon with Kinobody. He has gone in and promoted his family's ability to give him a lavish lifestyle. He's used that to market himself, but he's also used it to try to highlight to people what they should be trying to obtain. You know, that you can have the riches and the Lamborghinis and mansions and girls if you just intermittent fast and build a Hollywood physique. You know, he tries to promote all of this nonsense, but then does stuff like doesn't even squat delts, doesn't even train his lower body for the most part. All of this bullshit while focusing on the other stuff. And again, the guy, Kinobody has basically ripped off multiple other people, like seriously ripped them off. When you're actually selling stuff that you stole from other people, just rewording it a little bit, watering it down, and then actually selling it as books, that becomes a bit of a problem. It's one thing to just relay information, because we all stand on the shoulders of giants. You know, I don't care who you are. None of us invented any of the stuff out there that people are doing in terms of training. We've learned stuff, reorganized it. We stand on the shoulders of giants. All of us do. Every single person in the entire fitness industry, every strength and conditioning coach in the world already stands on the shoulders of giants. They're building upon the work of other people. That's understood, but when you are taking direct stuff and systems themselves, multi-layered systems, ripping them off, actually producing inferior versions of the original, and then slapping a price tag on it and selling it separately, it's a little bit different. And it's not even illegal. It's not actually illegal to do that or anything, by the way. That's not a copyright violation, but it is a little bit dishonest. But the worst part is that, you know, the stuff he produced is inferior to the things that he stole. He actually made them worse because he isn't really that knowledgeable himself. And so that's the problem you have. So you have all of that, and he has all of this style over substance. But I think what Omar did best is something I said a long time ago. He kept going back to the, I hate poor people, and, Pellegringo, and just his whole, what we would think of as an elitist sense of entitlement and an elitist sense of superiority, right, due to his upbringing and everything else. And that's what we see the most, because I saw it massively when he released a video a while back, and I think people like Omar kind of saw it too, and I think that's a lot of what he's hinting at. He was giving life advice to people that 99% of his followers could never implement. People say, what do you mean? He is basically his advice for building wealth. You essentially have to come from privilege to take his advice. And it never even occurred to Kinobody. It doesn't even seem to occur to him that everyone else isn't in that life circumstance. I mean, literally telling people stuff like, don't buy a car. Keep building your own business and your entrepreneurship, and you don't need to have a car of your own to take care of business and get stuff done. And he's like, live with your family as long as you can while starting a business, because his family has a massive house. His mother's wealthy. His father's passed away, his mother's wealthy. So yeah, there's plenty of room for him to run his business out of his mother's home. And he's like, yeah, you don't really need a car. Just borrow your family cars. You don't need to spend money on a depreciating asset to get around and get transportation and do these things. Just use your family vehicles. And it never seems to occur to Greg or Alan or whatever we want to decide his real name is. It never even seemed to occur to him that the majority of people out there who are listening and maybe following him are not in a life situation to where they can build a home business out of their family's home and live with their parents as long as possible while building their own business and being successful, right? That maybe there's not enough room. Maybe a lot of people out there grew up with a family and their parents lived in an apartment, not a house. Which, again, it's not as big of a deal, because, say, there's still a pretty large percentage of people who, again, they live in a family home. But then, where does it get worse? The car thing. Because everyone's parents have extra cars laying around, right? Most people's parents don't have a normal 9 to 5 or even, God forbid, a single car household. I mean, he's working off the assumption that the parents have additional extra vehicles that you can just borrow whenever you need them to get all your important stuff done, going to the gym, doing all your running your business, everything else. Why do you need to buy your own car? Save your money, just borrow your family's. And it was a lot of things like that that started accumulating. He started talking about food and everything, but then he mentioned while talking about, not spending this and that on food, just say, hey, you can do this with what your family does. And he pointed out, my mom has a chef and everything. It's like giving other people lifestyle advice to be successful and mentioning how easy it is for you because, hey, your mom has plenty of space. She has extra bedrooms and everything for you to run a business of out of your home. You've got extra vehicles at the house that you can borrow to drive. I mean, you got a chef to cook your food for you. You don't need to waste money on all that. You can waste all the money you make and reinvest it into your own business, right? This is how you become successful. And it didn't seem to occur to him that he started in a situation that puts him so far ahead of the people he's trying to give advice to. And he's absolutely clueless about it. Absolutely clueless. And doesn't even realize that he's clueless about it. And I think that's kind of the point that Omar brought home and really satirized and everything in the video. But it's making fun of that sheer cluelessness and elitism about his own privilege. And that's really what it's come down to. He has marketed the lifestyle that his family afforded him and allowed him to further build for himself because he started with access to all of these resources. He has marketed that into something that he can market to his followers as their physique and their lifestyle and everything, and that they can have all of that too. And the reality is, if they try to employ his life methods, they are not going to be where he is, because he started way ahead of them with access to resources that everyone else doesn't have. And he tries to portray everything as this Hollywood lifestyle. You know, that he is marketed all of this to people, and it's all glam. And it's all style and no substance, because at the end of the day, he promotes all this bullshit and even uses a little bit of gear and everything to help with his physique. And then when you actually see how he trains, he doesn't even know how to perform basic exercises correctly. He doesn't actually know how to perform a bench press safely or correctly. Doesn't know how to perform incline benches safely or correctly. He's just been doing them for years and been using just a little bit of gear. And he's gotten really strong on all these lifts. But he is eventually going to get hurt. He's already complaining about shoulder problems. Yeah, he's already probably damaged his body. He just hasn't caught up yet. Doesn't even know how to perform basic exercises, but has used, again, his whole lifestyle thing to market his knowledge as a trainer and a coach in a way. Knowledge that he doesn't even really possess. So at the end of the day, he has all of this style, all of this glam, but the little bit of stuff he's put out, he just stole from Martin Burkham, who he hired at one time. He was one of his clients. Just kind of stole it and reworded it in a reduced, less effective version, just marketed and sold it using all his family money. And realistically, there is no substance to anything that he produces. There's no substance. And it is just all show. It's all glam. And I think Omar highlighted that along with his elitism really well. I think it was well done. It was hilarious. And I personally appreciated it. In spite of some of my other misgivings about Omar lately, this particular video was pretty well done. And I laughed my ass off. Alright guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative. And I will talk to you guys next time.